Children from blocks all around the world. I am my block's strongest man, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness. I just got done pumping some iron, and I just figured that we'd come and have a talk about the best moments of 2021 in Strongman. What's up, Isaac?
That was pretty good. I did not expect that. So fantastic way to open. I'll give you that much.
That's my opening joke. I'm Jimmy Fallon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I figured, there's been so many great moments this year. And one little caveat I got to say, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get overheated in the Santa hat and I'm going to have to take it off soon. But we'll do what we can to bring on the holiday cheer for everybody. So for everybody who celebrates, Merry Christmas. And if you don't believe in Santa, I don't know what to say to you.
There you go. I guess it is after Christmas, so we're, a day late and a dollar short in that regards. But hey, you got to give us credit for trying. You
do, for sure. So, the first one that came to mind when I was thinking of the best moments of 2021, just because it's chronological, first of all, we first started working together around Mammoth Strength Challenge. So I was thinking Jessica Fithen and Gabby Bergholzer both set Mauser block world records at Mammoth while cheering each other on. That was an awesome moment. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, definitely. And they're both fantastic competitors. They've both been super fun to chat with and everything. Yeah, I'd say that's an amazing moment. I would definitely give you that.
Yeah, and then we'll probably get on to this later in the discussion, but the year goes on to Nadia taking Gabby's record there. So
I was gonna say too. What do you think about next year? Do you think anyone's gonna try and push the record even further? Because
I feel like, and I've said this to Nadia, she agrees with me. I feel like Gabby is a true competitor who will come back and try to beat it again. I think there's going to be a back and forth there. They're both exceptional competitors, so I don't see that rivalry dying. Not rivalry, but you know what I mean, like the kind of
right. No, it's a rivalry of sorts, but I don't think it's very friendly. I think they don't have it's not like a Pablo Alexi rivalry.
No, not even. You're both very sweet. Maybe Pablo is too in real life. I don't know him.
Maybe I've never met the guy. So.
Unfortunately, we know him from that one situation and that one unfortunate situation. But I hope that, and I got to say, I'm one of the people who said, wow, that was really a crappy thing to do. And I don't know if I want to see him anytime soon again, but I watched him at Middle East Strongest Man and it was cool to watch him compete. He was great there.
Oh, yeah. He's a great competitor and he's ridiculously strong and everything. I think he's new. And as other people have said, he's a young guy, young guys full of testosterone and emotions and everything else. Like things get heated and, hopefully it was just a little mess up and he moved on from it. And I look forward to seeing him again in future competitions.
Yeah, for sure. So what's one that you have on your list?
I would say, I think probably my top moment, not going chronologically, but my top moment would probably be Martins coming back after a very long hiatus from injuries and everything else, getting hit by a truck and everything. Coming back and just demolishing everybody in the Rogue Invitational. He put on a fantastic show. And then to top it off, he beat Tom on the stones in the final event. And it was one of those things where I think everybody was just lit from that. That was pretty cool to watch.
For sure. He came in, he defeated the reigning, not former, but reigning world's strongest man by beating him at his best event, a stone load. It was incredible. And, I was a fan of World's Strongest Man growing up and throughout the years here and there. And I really got back into it in the last couple of years or few years. And so Martins was a newer name to me. And he basically went away, with injuries and whatnot while I was really getting back into it. So, I've heard the legend of him, but I'm thinking he's a guy coming back from an injury, like Mateusz, what can you expect? And he just proved that he's an all-time great, really.
Oh, definitely. Well, and that's the thing is you see the majority of other strongmen after injury, it's, sometimes they do come back pretty good, but usually they don't, their first competition, they don't smoke everybody. You see Brian coming back after injury, you see Jerry Pritchett, Big Laws, A lot of these guys, when they come back from injury, they're still really good athletes, but you don't expect them to win. And the way he came back and really put on a clinic on how to win a contest, because it was like second, third, second, and then first or something like that. And so he didn't win every event, but he did really well in every event. So it was pretty fantastic to watch.
He also doesn't die out. Like, he stays strong throughout the competition. He doesn't tire, which is another amazing facet of his game. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. But speaking of, you brought up Wuss, I think you said. That's another one of my moments. So you had the return of Mateusz Kieliszkowski there. And I think he took second, didn't he?
Something like that. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. Second or third, something like that. But yeah, Mateusz is another one that I think is going to do really well for a long time.
Yeah, because the one there, and I'm looking to see if I should have a picture of it somewhere, but he ended up in the Atlas Stones against Alexei Novikov. And I mentioned this during our talk last week. And so this is the one moment of the year that made me stand up out of my seat and cheer, because I felt like 2020 Alexei Novikov World's Strongest Man winner there was a narrative that I bought into a little bit about he got lucky with the height of the deadlift. And so I thought, okay, he's a smaller guy. He can't possibly be better than these giants. And then 2021 came and he won anything that moved. Like he got 7 out of 8 podiums. Worlds was the only one he didn't podium in. And
that even is debatable because it was because of the heats, really.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. He had Luke Stoltman was in his heat, right? Like he had a really tough heat. I think Bobby Thompson was in that one. Didn't Bobby win that grouping? I believe it was Bobby.
Yeah, I think Bobby won it, and I can't remember who got second in it. But yeah, it was one of those ones where if he would have made it to the finals, I'm pretty sure he would have ended up on the podium.
Right. Yeah, so you watch him, and he's so consistent and so good in everything, even at that size, that you can't help but root for him, and you become a fan. And, as the year progressed, I'm a big fan of him now. And then we get to Wuss, where Mateusz is coming back, and everyone's saying, like, this is one of the greatest strongmen of all time. He's going to come and destroy everybody. And, like, I'm coming to the defense of my boy, right? I'm like, no, right? now the guy that I wouldn't root for is like, I'm defending him at all costs, right? Like, and so they come down to this Atlas Stones, and they're on the 5th stone, and Mateusz laps the last one and pauses and struggles, and Alexei overtakes him, and I jumped out of my seat, like, yeah, I get him. And I'm like, it was quite a moving moment for me. And what's up, Tyler? We see you in the comments. How you doing, man? World's Strongest Blacksmith in the house.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. I think both of those guys, I think Alexei and Mateusz both have a pretty long career ahead of them, hopefully, as long as they're able to stay healthy from now on and everything. But yeah, Alexei has really turned into a phenomenal strongman in the last year. Like you said, he podiumed 7 out of 8 competitions, and he's really demonstrating that he doesn't really have any weaknesses anymore. Before there were, when he first started, it was like 50-50. It's like, when he won Worlds, it might have just been because of the events and everything. But now he's gotten to the point where you're like, anything you put him in, he's probably going to do really well. So, yeah, kudos to him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's if he is in a competition, the other guys are in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that completely.
Oh, actually, you know what? I just found a picture of what I was describing. Let's see if I can share that window. And let me know if you can see that.
Yep.
The funny thing is, they have the names reversed, if you
notice.
Names
are switched. Oh, well.
But there it is. Like that was the moment for me. Like, if I had to pick one moment of the year, that was the moment for me that got me out of my seat screaming.
That is, yeah. It was, yeah, like I said, Alexei is really becoming a phenomenal strongman. He's really making a name for himself.
For sure. And credit to Microsoft Paint. Thank you, guys.
There you go. Well, let me see. So for my second favorite, I'd have to say probably seeing Bobby Thompson take the American log record was pretty cool. That was pretty phenomenal to watch. He doesn't have the world record or anything like that yet, but just seeing how much effort, like how much he worked on it and everything, and it went from being an okay event to him to all of a sudden he's taking the American record, and I was like, that's pretty awesome to watch. He's really put some time into that one.
Yeah, that journey from us noticing him at Mammoth and the training from there to Clash, and our noticing of like, this guy knows exact percentages of how close he is to comp weights, and like just seeing that pay off in a record was really, really cool.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys. I think you guys would work together really well because he's so analytical.
I agree.
Oh, man.
You could argue Clash on the Coast is the best moment in a whole show, right? Because it was the first time that we had, I don't know if it was the first time, but it was, we had record breakers, we had all the weight classes, it was happening on the beach, events in the sand. It was just groundbreaking in a lot of different ways. I think Anthony Furman and Rob Kearney were the commentators, if I remember right, and just a really top class show.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was just, from everything I've heard, it was really well run and everything. And like none of the athletes really seem to have much negative to say about it. So that's always really, really good to hear. Oh, and I was just looking. So World's Strongest Blacksmith says his favorite was watching Bibby get the Strongman overhead records.
Both of them, I guess.
SY, I'm not sure what that is.
Maybe the sentence got chopped off. You didn't mean to hit enter, probably.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, Bibby is another one that's.
He's on my list as well. Like I told you off camera, I have like 25 things to discuss, but
we can only do 10. Okay, we got to keep it.
I don't want to cheat anybody. There's just so many cool things that happened this year. But so what do you think of the Bibby records? Like there was some controversy over soft lockout on the log, I think it was. Then was it the axle where he had three chances at it? Yeah,
he got an extra chance because of the crowd, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, what do you think of those two different types of controversy?
It's kind of one of the same things as like the way I feel about a lot of the garage gym world records that were set. It's like I get it, heat of the moment and everything. Like with Bibby, like they were giving the crowd what the crowd wanted, and so I understand that, but I'm also pretty black and white when it comes to rules and everything, where it's like, okay, if we're going to run the show this way, this is how we're going to run it. Unless, there's a nuclear bomb that got dropped on the grounds or something like that, then there's not much reason to deviate from those guidelines. So kind of mixed feelings about it, I guess. I think it's absolutely fantastic that he got the records. A little bit of a bummer that the way it happened, I guess. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. In terms of the lockout thing, maybe his arm doesn't lock out all the way. I don't know. Like, I think he had the strength to do it, and I think that was the log. The axle one, which I think was the 3 chances, I kind of feel pretty strongly that shouldn't happen unless it's something you're going to give everybody. And the counter argument was like, well, he had the event won already, so what does it matter? It matters for points. Right?
Well, and for records too. I mean, because now that's the standing record. And so now if anyone else wants to fight it, like that's the one that they have to go for.
Yeah. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the contest where Big Laz made his return with the overhead axle press, and Laz zeroed the axle. And if Laz would have gotten 1 rep on axle, he would have been 5th place instead of 7th. So that's my counter argument to the counter argument, right? So it's like, if you're going to say, well, he won the event anyway, but that doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't matter in relation to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they should have had everyone else go up and be able to have another shot at it.
Yeah. Who's to say Laz wouldn't? I mean, Laz would probably tell me, like, we get tired, I wouldn't have made it on a third chance. But who's to say if you gave him a third try, you wouldn't have made that one rep and gotten 2 placings higher, you know? So
we'll have to message him and ask him, I guess.
Yeah, that's just my point. Just be fair to everybody. That's all. Like, it's not to say, you know, you shouldn't count it because it was on the third try. I'm just saying if you give him a third try, give everybody a third try. That's all. Yeah, it's like it's the same argument as like Thor having a chance at a 501 deadlift with nobody else having a chance. Yeah, like, maybe he would get it anyway, but who knows? You know.
No, I definitely agree with you there.
Yep. But cool. So back to the positives. Let's see. Let's share my screen. I'll give you one that I think
you have a spreadsheet of all the positives of the year.
I just jotted them all down on TextPad, but I'm going to give you one that I think will make you laugh. So positive is we finally found out who that World's Strongest Man spreadsheet guy is this year.
That's true. We had him on the channel.
We were able to divulge. Can I say his name now? And Fournier is Batman. He is the World's Strongest Man spreadsheet guy. So I think that was a highlight of the year where we were able to bring to people's attention all the wonderful stuff going on at Strongman Archives.
Definitely. And if anyone is not familiar with Strongman Archives, please go check it out. It is a fantastic website. It has a wealth of knowledge as far as strongman, mostly international competition, some national. He's not really doing low level stuff yet because it's just him. And it's, you know, he also works a full-time job and this is his hobby. But definitely go out of your way and try and support him because he has helped everybody tremendously, I think, by collecting all this information in one place.
Yeah, he has over 1,000 contests on there now. I don't know if you were aware. So he said he's going to try to get to 2,000 in the next year or so. And just to put that in perspective for folks who have seen my, I call it Strongman Power Ratings, which is kind of an oxymoron because it's really strength ratings, but not power, but whatever. But yeah, if you've ever seen like the analytics I do to come up with predictions, or like when we did our top strongman of 2021, which Alexei Novikov won last week, and thank you, Isaac, for letting him know about that on that tag in the post. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so if you've seen that, I have like a little under 200 contests in there or something, and that took a tremendous amount of months of work to do to get that, and he has over 1,000. So just to give you kind of a concept of the amount of work he's done.
He's the dude's dedicated. I'll give him that much. He's
quick. He gets things on there quickly as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's been a lifesaver for me because it's, you know, he's updating stuff almost in real time, you know, and it's he's been fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see what's next up on my list. I had another one from Mammoth. Steve Schmidt goes to Mammoth right after his father's passing and sets a new Mauser block press world record.
That was pretty fantastic. Steve is an amazing guy. He's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, Steve's the one who got me to rethink my opinion on Thor. He's like, well, you know, we did stone press world records together. I think it was a head-to-head, just those two guys. And he's like, he was the nicest guy to me. And I said, all right, well, you know, Steve Schmidt is awesome. He's so nice. So if he says somebody's cool in his book, he's cool in my book too.
Yeah. I think that was before Thor had his whole entourage though. So
could be.
I don't know. Maybe he changed with that. Maybe he didn't. I don't know the guy, so I can't speak to it. If Thor wants to invite me out to Iceland sometime to lift stones with him, I will definitely take him up on that offer though.
The thing is, though, if you go to Iceland and meet Thor, the event you have to do is you have to go in his gym and throw sandbags to the second floor of the gym.
I was going to say the Husafell.
The most popular one.
Yeah, I want to go do the Husafell stone and do it for distance.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, you know, you got to do the trick because I didn't realize until I'll say it, my favorite show of the year, the Magnus Vera Magnuson Classic, where they did the true Husafell stone around the sheep's pen. I didn't realize that they measure it at the smallest circumference. Like they use a string or a rope that's against the sheep's pen. So if you're walking out from it too much, that's on you. Like, you don't get any extra distance for that.
You're walking extra steps with no credit.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So if you go out there, be careful. Walk closely.
I know. Although you can't go too close because there are boulders sticking out of it as well, and clumps of grass and everything. So if you trip and fall with a 400-pound stone on your arms, you probably won't bounce like Bishop. So
True. Actually, I mean, while we're on the Husafell stone and, my favorite contest of the year on that topic, I got to give a shout out to one of our best friends in Strongman who actually supports us creators quite a bit. And that's Sigfus Fosdal. And he did an incredible Husafell carry at the Magnus Ver Magnuson Classic. Just a true pro. And credit goes to him and credit goes to Big Laws for training him. It's just, you watch him do all of his events are like every rep is the same. Like he's a pro's pro. It's just unbelievable to watch him. And they they interviewed him after and they said, "How did you do that Husafell so easily?" And he's like, "I picked it up and I went. It's easy for me." It was very, very funny. But he had zeroed the deadlift before. So he's like, "Yeah, I zeroed on purpose to save my energy for the Husafell."
I mean, hey, isn't that what Strongman's about though? Is strategy as well as, brute strength.
It is. It's true. And, another one on my list came from that same contest. So I don't know how much of it you caught, but Maxime Boudreau wins the Magnus Ver Magnuson Classic while winning a deadlift to get him there. How's that for a great moment?
Which, a lot of people have said it wasn't as heavy of a deadlift as a lot of other competitions. So what was it? It was, I don't remember how heavy
it was 300 something kilo. I think.
Yeah. Which is still really heavy. But that's definitely a little bit of credit to him because deadlift is not one of his strong points.
Yeah. I mean, so let's give him the full credit he's due for that show because he had some tribulations he had to go through. So the first one was there was a Yoke farmers medley, I think it was, and the farmers were especially cumbersome. And so he gets to, like, you had to get the full length, make your turn and come back. So he gets the full length. He didn't put them down like everybody else. He did it on the move. And so when he came around, the one was a few inches short of the line. So he did his second lap, thought he was done. And you see him doing a third lap. And Magnus, and I apologize, I forget the other commentator's name at the moment. They're both saying like, "Oh, we didn't know it was for distance. We thought it was just 2 lengths for time." It was 2 lengths for time. They made him do a third because he didn't get over the line.
What? I did not know that.
Like, instead of taking a second or two and adding it to his time, they made him do a whole other lap and took that time, the full time. And so
he still did pretty well on
and
that.
I think I got to look it up. I think he still came in second in that event, even after doing that, because everyone else had such problems with those farmers. And so
then he still came in second on it.
Yeah, right. Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he got 13 points out of 14.
Then he gets to the log medley. He doesn't put down, sorry if I have it wrong, it's the second or third log. He doesn't put it back down on the pads, which was a requirement. Like he dropped it and went to the next one. They made him go back and do it again. And I think he won the log. If you're looking at it now.
He got 14 points on that one.
So Max earned that win big time. Like he went through a lot of tribulations and did well in an event people say he's not good at and still won the show. So
he won, I mean, because he got 72 points and then Thor got 69.5 and then the next guy got 60.5. So Max, there's a 12-point spread between first and third place. Like he won by a lot. It wasn't he barely scraped by 1 or 2 points. Like he won by a significant outcome, basically.
Who was third again? Haroldson?
Sami Ahola.
Oh, Sami Ahola. Yeah, who they made a big deal about saying like he's not related to Yoko Ahola.
Yeah, right. That's what I first thought when I saw his name, but I've heard enough people saying no, he's not. So
Sammy's been doing well in a couple different shows. He did well this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of while you brought up Thor, so that's another moment I want to bring up. So you have in that show, Thor was still the natural stone press world record holder at 317 pounds. And so do you still have those results up? Can you see
with the Magnus for Magnuson?
For Magnuson, yeah. See who came in second to Thor on the I think it was the first event, the overhead stone press.
Ryan England.
Ryan England, that's who I thought it was. Yeah. So if I remember right, Ryan went for a world record, missed it. Thor decided to just tie his record, so he won the event at 317. A couple weeks go by, and my new buddy Jacob Finnerty, who came on the show recently, beats it and has a new record at 320 pounds.
Yeah, which Finnerty is a beast as well. He's a great guy. He was so down to earth and everything too. He's so chill and just easy to talk to, it looked like. So
he's cool. I actually, we wished each other Merry Christmas on DM, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but he was like, yeah, hope you hit that stone you were trying to hit. Like, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's pretty nice.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Well, I think one of my favorite events was at Giant when there were, I don't know, all the athletes and all of the fans were able to get 1,000-pound deadlift. That was pretty one after another. What is going on? We went from having, I don't know, 5 people who had deadlifted 1,000 pounds. Then there were, was it 6 more or 8 more guys at that competition that did it?
I think it was 7.
Something like that. It was something insane. It's just one after another, and you're like, whoa.
I was seriously thinking about, should I go fly there? Because maybe I'll hit 1,000.
Maybe there's something in the water, or I don't know. But that was pretty insane to watch. And that was pretty exhilarating.
Even people who have been through it for years, like Big Laz, were astounded at what they were seeing.
Yeah. Well, because it used to be that, like I said in I think a couple weeks ago now, something like that. But it used to be that an 800-pound deadlift was a huge deal. And now we have a bunch of guys who have done 1,000. And you're like, all right, well, 500 kilos isn't that much more than 1,000-pound deadlift. So who's next?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And that was also where Alexi showed that he's not only good on the 18-inch deadlift, he's also good on a standard deadlift as well. So
yep. Or he is now.
Well, he is now. Yeah, that's for sure. Man.
Yeah, that was amazing. I got a bunch. So Inez Carrasquillo goes into OSG and just puts on a log pressing clinic. When is she going to put it down?
How many reps did she get? It was
double digits. I think it was 11 or 12.
Oh my goodness. See, and that's cardio at that point. That is no longer strength. That's just cardio work.
Yeah. And speaking of, so she had that incredible log pressing exhibition there at OSG, and it wasn't the only one. Dimitar Savatinov, who we haven't heard about in a little while, shows up and just, at least in the first 2 events, just kicking some coolie, as we say in my Italian heritage.
Yeah, because he was winning for the first day, right? And then it was towards the end that I think he kind of dropped off. Let me see. I got to pull it up here if I can find it.
Oh, Man Archives?
Yeah, I'm looking. I see the open. I don't see it right now. But yeah, because he was in first place, I think, at the end of day 1. Where is it?
And let's be clear, he was in first place in a class that includes Zydrunas Savickas.
Yeah, and Ken Mcclelland, who's another
monster. Ken's a monster.
Yeah, Ken is one of those ones that should be at Worlds.
He ended up second overall.
Let me see. I'm still trying to. Oh, there it is. Okay, I just found it finally. Yeah, so Savickas won it. Ken got second, and then Jerry Pritchett got third, and Dimitar was just barely behind him. But yeah, you look at his points. He won the log press. He got third in the car walk and fourth in the deadlift ladder. And then day 2, he didn't do nearly as well. But yeah, he came in ready to fight.
Yeah. But one of the, like I say, it's really hard to pick a winner if I had to pick a winner, but One that you can make a really big argument for. Nick Camby sets an axle press world record and then spins around with it like it's nothing.
Nick's fun. He's if you're not following him on Instagram, you should follow him. He posts some fun stuff. He's a beast as well.
that was something to behold for sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And he had multiple records, didn't he say, when he came on our show?
Yeah, I don't remember which ones. He has several. I know that. And I think most of them are pressing records, if I remember correctly.
Yep. How about Annabelle Chapman wins Wuss and then wins Britain's Strongest Woman pretty much on the plane ride home?
That was like the next weekend, something like that.
No, I think it was less than 2 days later. Was
it 2 days later?
It was 30 hours later or something like that. She posts like Britain's Strongest Woman. I'm like, I didn't even know another contest was happening already.
Yeah, she is a phenomenal strong woman as well.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. That was a little while back. Where was that?
Yeah, I don't know if Strongman Archives has Britain's Strongest Woman, but he'll have her in Wuss.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it right now, but
yeah, but I just checked her Instagram again today. It was literally like less than 2 days later, I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, like she competed at UK Strongest Woman, and a lot of good competitors came out of that one. Donna Moore did really well this year. Shannon Clifford was the name that not a lot of people knew. And because UK's was open, like she did well, but she was competing against like real heavyweights. And so I remember watching UK Strongest Woman and saying, like, put this woman in her own weight class and like good things are going to happen. She goes to OSG and wins a class that has Rhiannon Lovelace in it. Like, what?
Yep. I know. Yeah, they're phenomenal.
So that was another great one. And then I don't know, kind of a humorous one for me was best moment. I lured Travis Ortmeyer into calling me a sneaky bastard.
There you go. Yeah, that works.
That was one of my top moments.
I was gonna say Travis had a couple pretty great moments this year, but a lot of them happened at Champions League, Strongman Champions League. But I was gonna say, I think it was fantastic the implements that they had at in SCL this year. It was just like unique equipment that you don't see that often, and I love that because it's not standardized. It's not something you're going to find in the gym. And I think that's what Strongman is really about, is like, not like, are you gym strong, but are you weird strong? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of people may take offense to this, but like, I don't think there should be a deadlift in Strongman, or at least there shouldn't be a standard deadlift. It should
not a
be
standard. Yeah.
Like hard deadlifts are cool, but like,
exactly.
It should be weird. It shouldn't be like something that a power lifter would do.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what that's where Strongman gets its essence or whatever. It like, yeah, if you want to see a deadlift, go watch a powerlifting show. If you want to see people throwing around stones and pulling trains and stuff, like, go watch Strongman. It's different. Coin box deadlift. I love watching the coin box deadlift. I don't know why, but or cheese deadlift, I guess, or whatever other variation they want to throw in there.
The one they did at Magnus, even though it was a little lighter, was kind of cool because they were describing the bells, I guess you would call them, on the ends are their nautical equipment. Like they were rusty because they pulled them out of the water to like use them on the bar. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think cool. I gotta go back and listen to it, but Magnus described it. I think there were like weights for fishing nets.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, stuff like that is awesome. That's what I love about Strongman. Or like when they did the fish toss in Alaska.
The one that Jessica Fithen won?
Fithen that was talking about that?
Yeah. The salmon toss.
I'm like, what? Come on.
What was she saying? She said like people gave her guff for it being rubber. She's like, we didn't want guts all over the audience.
Yeah, well, because she said, I think it was PETA came out first, and they were really upset that they were throwing a fish around. And then the organizers were like, well, it's a rubber fish. It's actually not a live one. And then people were upset that it wasn't a real fish. And it's like, you can't really please everybody. Someone's going to be upset. Like,
hey, as long as the fish isn't upset.
Yeah, it's a rubber fish. I don't think it really cared. But
okay, here I actually have my notes. So the axle has trollers that Icelandic fishing boats use to sink fishing nets.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. That sounds pretty awesome.
There you go. And Josh from 580 Barbell, that's the kind of detail I was telling you I write down that nobody else does.
You're right. That's why I hang out with you, is because you're always commenting new facts that I didn't notice the first time around.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because it also prevented me from getting through all of OSG to report on it because I was trying to give in-depth detail. But
yeah. Well, I mean, you had however many 100 competitors or something like that. Like that's a lot to take notes on.
For sure.
But,
what about? I mean, let's shout out some of the OGs. Brian Shaw for his new Cake for Height world record. How about that?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Brian's a super interesting one because I know everybody for the last 5 years, everyone's been saying, "Oh, he needs to retire. He needs he's done, whatever." Every year he keeps coming back and he keeps performing, not necessarily podium, ending up on the podium or something, but he keeps showing that he's still got what it takes to hang with the top 10 in the world, basically.
He was second place in 2 world-class shows. Like, he only does world-class shows, but
yeah,
call his show what you will, that it's his own show, but the competition was fierce.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he was second place in Shaw Classic and second place at Worlds and has a world record. You really think he needs to retire? I mean, first of all, need is a strong word. Like, people have said things to me that I need to do on YouTube, and they're like, I need water, I need air, I need to pay my taxes. That's what the word need is. Like, you may not like what I'm doing, but I don't need to do what you're suggesting.
I agree completely.
He does not need to retire. So
well, and as long as he is still enjoying it and still doing well, he's not winning every competition anymore, but he's still hanging in there pretty well, and he's still fun to watch. So
second place at the Shaw Classic is nothing to sneeze at, but first place is better. What up, Trey Mitchell? You had a great year.
I was just going to say, Trey's performance at the Shaw Classic was insane. That guy is out of this world. I don't know. I'm super excited for him to keep showing up for the years to come.
I mean, to win a show that's that hard, and we'll all agree, it's one of the hardest shows of the year. The Shaw Classic,
well, that's stacked too. Like, it was 18 or whatever, or 16, something like that, of the best in the world, and he dominated.
Yeah. He also, people forget, he won Texas Strongest Man in 2021 as well, with the infamous throwing the kegs off the screen. They're like, we didn't see them anymore.
The number of people, because that was the one where they had the spotters in the back as well, right? Where they were
for when the kegs came down 5 seconds later. Yeah.
I was like, I don't want that job. I would rather not be catching a 60-pound keg or whatever as it comes hurtling towards me.
No way, man.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, strongmen don't even catch their own implements when they fall from that height. Never mind a layman.
Yeah. Every now and then you'll see someone accidentally try and catch one of the kegs or the bags or something as they come through, and it always scares me. I think it's a horrible idea.
Yeah. And I got to open up my my power rankings here, but he was 4th at Worlds too, wasn't he?
Something like that, because I think, was he the one that beat Alexi in the head-to-head or something like that, or was it?
I don't know. That was the other year, wasn't it?
Was that the previous year?
Yeah, I think so.
Man,
Trey Mitchell.
Like I said, I have trouble keeping the years separated, so I don't always remember.
Oh, he did the Arnold UK too. I forgot about that.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, WSM. Yeah, he got 4th.
Yep. Yeah, his Arnold UK was good too. I don't know. I don't have the placing in front of me, but Hercules hold, he was 7 points out of 10, 9 out of 10 on deadlift for reps, 7.5 out of 10 on dumbbell press, 9 out of 10 on Atlas stones. He did really well, except for frame carry at the Arnold UK as well.
Dang.
Wow. Yeah, Trey had an incredible year. Do not sleep on Trey Mitchell. He's going to be doing some big things in 2022.
I know. He's so just quiet and like, he's one of those ones, he doesn't brag about what he does or anything. And even like watching him on Instagram and stuff, he never posts these ultra flamboyant whatever posts. It's always just, this is what I'm doing. And he's always just kind of quiet, goes about his business, and then shows up at these competitions and demolishes people. Like, I don't know.
Well, you might remember last week when we talked about the top strongman in 2021, I had him ranked 6 in the world, which is very, very, very good. And a guy that most people would say had a phenomenal year, Luke Stoltman, I have 7. So that just puts it in perspective how good of a year Trey Mitchell had when you do the math on how many points he earned out of the possible points and then add in his placings and everything he did. From both facets, he's incredible.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. And I'm excited, especially, I think this next year, because it seems like there's even more competitions starting back up again and everything now. And like, I'm excited to see where everybody's going to go. I kind of hope Alexi doesn't keep going at this pace, because I feel like if he does, he's going to burn himself out pretty quickly. But if he's enjoying it and he's staying healthy and everything, kudos to him. Keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's another strong contender for if you had to pick one. You can't really call it a best moment because it's a best year. But 7 out of 8 podiums is like an incredible feat. But hey, he's got the moments too. Dumbbell medley at Rogue was like, what is happening here? Like, everybody else could barely move the first couple, and he's just like flying through them.
Well, a lot of people, because I think a lot of people got to the second and couldn't get past the second, if I remember. Over half the people got 1 or 2, and then a couple people got the third, and then Alexi's in there with all 5, like 2 more than anybody else in less time than a lot of the other guys did it. Like, I don't know. Don't sleep on Alexi when there's some sort of circus dumbbell press.
It's unbelievable because he didn't win the show, and everybody's saying that's the best moment of the show.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, didn't he do really well? Because was it the Shaw Classic that also had a dumbbell press? And I thought he did pretty well with that as well.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, it's maybe not as big of a deal as some of these other things we're discussing, but to me, like, one of the best moments is JF Caron outdoes Brian Shaw in a dumbbell press at the Shaw Classic.
Yes, I agree. I don't know what was going on with Brian at that time, because, like, some of the events, I feel like he I don't know what happened with, because like a dumbbell press, that should be Brian's piece of cake. Like, but I don't know. JF, maybe he was training it more. Maybe
credit where credit is due. JF did better than he has done in the past.
Yeah. Well, and JF is a phenomenal athlete. Oh, I mean, we can look up his record as well, because he's just consistent over the last 11 years that he's been competing, 10 years.
Well, I mean, so if you look at what we discussed last week, I have JF 3rd in the world. JF, I don't think won any major contest, did he last year?
No, I don't think he won anything, but he podiumed several.
Yeah, he podiumed Shaw, I know that, but he's so consistent and places so well even in shows he doesn't win, and earns lots of points out of the possible points available in all the contests that it was enough to put him in my list on the top 3 in the world last year, unless you give me some math that's better than mine. But I got Alexi, Tom Stoltman, JF Caron, top 3 in the world.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too, because even like you mentioned Tom, and that's even with him losing at a competition and withdrawing from a competition, and he still got 2nd overall. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Tom,
Well, Tom had, I think, 2 wins and 2 second places, so he got a lot of points on my scale for that. And then, he just his stones. He usually wins, so your points turned out of points possible is 100% there. So there you go.
Yeah, if that one's always in the bag, it's kind of guaranteed points. So yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm looking at Alexi now at Rogue. So he was 3rd overall at Rogue, and on that Sear dumbbell, he did 5 and 59.59 seconds.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Mateus got 3 in 59.5 seconds. So
hold on. Let me remind folks. Connection to the internet. Oh, sorry. Alexa thought I was calling her. Alexa, stop. Sorry.
It's always nice having someone eavesdrop on you.
I'm like, what's happening here? Oh, sorry. I said Alexi. Got it?
Oh, technology. Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, so just to remind people who don't remember, I just said he did 5 and 59.59 seconds. So you're thinking, oh, he made it just under the bell. The time limit was 2.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So he did 5 in under 1 minute in a 2.5 minute time limit.
Yeah. Well, Jerry got 0 in a minute and 50 or in 150 seconds. So
yeah, it's crazy. But and that last dumbbell was 300 pounds, by the way.
Yeah.
So
that's way more than a lot of people's deadlift. Okay, and you have to think it's a fat grip dumbbell. They're awkward. They're not weighted very well. Like, I think the heaviest I've gotten on one of those is maybe 200. I think 190, something like that. And it was a struggle. And
it's funny that you put it that way. My max deadlift's 315.
Yeah, and he threw it overhead fairly easily, like single-handed, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you awkward. You think like they're stronger than I am, but they also have better technique. Like, I don't know if a lot of that was technique. He was just like exploding.
I think he's just ridiculously strong as well. So I think
there's no technique in the world I could use that would get me to half that weight. It's crazy.
If you practiced it for a while, I think you could probably get to 150 pounds, in a year or something like that. But the heavier it gets, the harder and harder it is to make improvements. So
for sure.
Maybe he'll go for the world record in that sometime soon, because that's kind of his event, I think.
Absolutely. So we mentioned it a couple times. How about Big Loz's triumphant return, showing he can still hang with active world-class competitors?
I know. Loz he's a fighter. You can't put it past him. He really performed well. And, what did he get? He got 7th out of 11. So
I remember what my friends place.
Thanks. So you'll remind me of any shows that I do where I place. But still, you look, he did better than Gav Bilton, Paul Dwyer, Ivers, Mark Felix. Like, that's pretty good.
Especially better than Ivers. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, I know. Ivers, I think. Let me see, because wasn't Ivers injured or something on that, or
probably
because he zeroed the axle. Well, then he did pretty good on the Hercules. Yeah,
that axle was infamous for starting off too heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you look at it and there's a bunch of guys that got a no lift.
Yeah. So then, while we're on the topic of Big Loz, how about what was the bigger moment? Big Loz does his one show, says he's retired again, then breaks a Denny Stone unassisted walk world record. Is that more impressive?
Okay.
is that more impressive, or Kevin Ferris nickel stone world record?
Ooh. Probably. I think probably Loz's, just because it's a little heavier. It's like, I don't know though.
The guy that Loz beat for the world record looks like an unbeatable guy in Brian Shaw, so I'm going to say Loz is more impressive.
Yeah. Well, and with Loz's, it seemed like it was almost an accident more that he did it. Like I mean, I know he went to try it and everything, but it was, I don't know. Yeah, I think that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, with the guys in the nickel stones, you would assume they at least were training it. Like Laz kind of seemed more on a whim, like I'm going to take this trip and I'm going to make the attempts on implements that are along the way of this trip. And then they kind of had to convince him, try it again. So
Yep, I agree. But just watching everything about it, he didn't go there, I don't think, to set the world record. But yeah, Laz he's a beast. You can't, well, he's retired. I was going to say you can't sleep on him either, but I guess we'll see how retired he is.
It's true. You got any more on your list? I have one more.
I think that's about all I had on my list.
I have, this isn't necessarily a one happening, but, or one moment, but how about Tom and Luke Stoltman holding Worlds and Europe's championships in the same year?
That's pretty impressive. Or even just the way they both dominated pretty well this year. I mean, they didn't make, number one overall, number 1 and 2 or whatever, but they both placed really high on the overall strength ratings. And they both finished on a lot of podiums this year. I don't remember how many.
Tom had 4. I know that for sure. He had 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
And Luke, I think, had 2, or did he have more than that?
I may have it. Let's see.
Yeah, so he had 2 where he got first. And then he had a couple 4th place, a couple 6th, a couple 7th. But still, I mean, that's a good year. Showed up and still did really well.
Yep. Yeah, he had Luke won Europe's and he won the World Tour Finals.
Yeah, which that was a pretty tough show as well. The World Tour Finals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he beat Evan Singleton and and he beat and Max, he beat some pretty good. Well, he beat his brother too, I guess, but beat some pretty good guys that looked like they were supposed to do really well, basically.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Evan Singleton, I didn't have him on my list, but he did so well this year that we got to find a moment for him. How about which one was it? Arnold UK with the Viking Press? How about Evan Singleton? Whatever Viking Press number you put up, I will beat. That's his moment.
I think he gets into another place when he's competing, frame of mind wise. He and I know a lot of people have said it's all a show. He whatever, it's all persona. In real life, he's the nicest guy ever, but he's scary when he's competing. He gets angry and he gets out there, and I feel like he just has this mindset where nothing's gonna stop him. And I mean, what did he do? Let me see. He got first on 2 shows this year. He got 2nd in 1, 3rd in 1, and 5th in 1. That's pretty good.
Yep, and it was the World Open that had that Viking Press.
Okay. And what did he get? He got 12 reps with it, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those guys where he's another one that's really over time getting to the point where he just doesn't really have any weaknesses. There's still a couple things, as we saw at the Shaw Classic and stuff, where he won, was it 3 events? And then he did horribly at several other events. And so he came in 5th, I think, overall. 5th. But so you could argue he still has some weaknesses, I guess. But also the Shaw Classic was ridiculously heavy. And I think everybody said it was one of the hardest shows that they've ever done. So
yeah, I mean, he definitely proved that there was an illness at World's Strongest Man, and he can do very well everywhere else.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, the man has definitely been pumping iron.
He's doing his best. We'll put it there for him. But.
Yeah, I mean, he recently had that Farmers. I'm like, what are you doing? 460 pounds per hand?
I've done 320, I think, and
That's a lot still.
I got like 18 feet, so I was pretty stoked for that. I was very happy with that, but I don't think I could even pick up 400 each hand.
By the way, like since I have you here, I got my new farmers for Christmas. How far should I
go?
50 feet out, 50 back.
Yeah, you could try something like that. I'd say probably starting off, I'd probably do like 20 feet. 20 feet each way, get a feel for it, and then kind of load it up, and then vary either weight or distance from there. But start, a little bit lighter, shorter distance, and just work on getting foot speed down, work on the grip on the handles and everything, and kind of get a feel for them first, and then work up from there. But,
yeah, I'm going to start with them empty at first, even if it's easy, just to get the motion down.
Yeah, because it's weird. I know, because I had a set of farmers for a while, and I loved using them, but farmers are so awkward because, I always grabbed about an inch back from the center, basically, so my hands are just barely offset. So then as you pick up, it starts pulling you forward, and so it starts dragging you forward. But if you grab too far back, then the front will dig into the ground as you're walking. And if you don't grab far enough back, then they're pretty much level, and then you're trying to pull them forward, and so it's a lot more work. So there's some little techniques you can do with it to make it easier. Don't use straps. That's cheating.
No, I won't ever use straps.
I know.
I'd rather have a lesser deadlift than to use straps.
Yeah. I want to do a new video because I see people in the gym all the time doing pull-ups with straps or doing dumbbell curls with straps and stuff. I'm like, I want to do a video about that and be like, if you have a weak grip, you need to train your grip. Stop using straps.
By the way, like, you got to keep it between you, me, and the hopefully millions of people watching. Do not tell JF Caron my farmers have knurling on the handles.
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to grind that down. If he comes out to train with you sometime, he'll be pretty upset.
I will not pack them in a carry-on if I go visit him ever.
Yeah, there you go. If you drive up to go see him.
Yeah. I could probably fit him in the car. The kids just can't come.
Yeah. Sorry, kids. Dad's bringing his lifting equipment.
Dad's bringing his
You gotta stay home this time.
How about biggest moment that didn't happen? Eddie versus Thor.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. And Eddie getting injured and everything, I feel like it's lost a lot of the momentum that it had. I thought it was a little bit extra, everything that they were doing anyways, but I still wanted to see the fight. So
yeah,
it's rescheduled. It's like March now that they're going to do it.
I think they were trying for March. I don't know if it's solidified yet.
Yeah, that was whatever.
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, like, have I ever hated someone and then still hated them as much 2 years later? Like, is Eddie as motivated anymore?
I don't like. Well, honestly, I just haven't heard much from Eddie lately, too. Like, for a long time, it seemed like it was nonstop back and forth between them. And then he got injured, and there was still some, some talk going on, but it seems like it died down a bit. And I don't know. I know he's still training, but even Thor doesn't seem like, for a little bit, he was posting stuff and talking about all the fights he was going to do and everything. And now he's kind of simmered down a little bit too. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
See what happens there.
Maybe they'll just go in and shake hands and not fight and just call it a day. And
maybe. Who knows?
Whatever.
Maybe one of them will fight Jake Paul. He's on a tear recently.
Have you seen all the stuff about every single one of his fights is rigged and blah, blah, blah?
I've seen. I don't know. Like, I've watched boxing for a long time. And, as a YouTube creator, I shouldn't say this, but like from the little I've seen of him, like he doesn't look likable. So, my impression was, well, Tyron Woodley, I want him to win, right? But then when you really think about it, like Tyron Woodley's a mixed martial artist. He was never a boxing specialist. And then I hear, he lost his last four fights in MMA as well, so he's not at his peak either. And okay, now it all starts to make sense. And I watched the fight, and I got to give him credit. Like, I was at a Christmas gathering, right, with my
You
family.
were doing work at a Christmas gathering?
No. This is after. So I was at a Christmas gathering. And I didn't know that Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2 happened. And they're like, "Oh, did you see that fight with Woodley and Jake Paul?" I said, "Yeah, it happened a while ago." They're like, "No, they fought again. He knocked him out." And I'm like, "What?" So, and they said, "Oh yeah, he threw a punch from way down here. It was rigged. Like it was such a looping thing." And so, like I tell you, I've been watching, you can look up what year this was. I've been watching boxing since Mike Tyson versus Pinkland Thomas. And I'm going to tell you that was not a bad punch. Like it was not a punch from his waist. It was a hesitation that threw off the defense and opened him up to get hit. Like it was a nice straight right hand, like slightly looping right hand, and that's it. Like for as much as I didn't want the guy to win, it was a good punch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like there's always going to be those naysayers. There's always going to be those trolls or whatever that are going to talk smack about whoever, and maybe they're right. Maybe they pay, maybe Jake Paul's been paying off every single one of his competitors so that he wins or whatever. But like, he's starting to fight some big names, and he's I don't know. Maybe he is all that.
Well, I mean, I think I heard him say he's trained for 4 years. So it's not like a lifetime of boxing, but it's a considerable amount of time.
Right. You can get fairly decent with, even 2 or 3 years, you can develop some pretty decent skills. I don't know if you'll get to the world level in 2 or 3 years, depending on how good you are naturally, I guess. But
yeah, but again, like he's fighting MMA fighters. He's not fighting pro boxers. So
true. But I mean, he's a novice. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can see both ways, I guess, with it.
Like Tyron Woodley is a wrestling specialist. If he wrestled Tyron Woodley, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, well, I think with any of those fights, if X, like it would change. But
it was like McGregor Mayweather. McGregor was never going to beat Mayweather. He's not a boxer.
He talked enough smack where there were a lot of people that thought he was going to. So,
hey, listen, you've seen that I do boxing analytics just like I do strongman analytics, and I'm here to tell you, McGregor did not win a round, no matter what anybody tells you.
No. Well, and going against Mayweather, arguably the best alive right now.
The best, at least, of his generation. Nobody will dispute that.
Yeah, exactly. And you have Conor, who's like, yeah, you're good at MMA, but you are trying to fight the best alive, best of his generation or whatever, on his own grounds, at his own sport. Like, okay. I don't know.
It would be like, I don't know how much you follow MMA, but it would be like Mayweather fighting, I don't want to say John Jones because this is a different weight class, but Mayweather fighting like George St. Pierre in his prime in MMA. Like it's no contest.
I know. Although speaking of MMA and like UFC and everything, my favorite fight of all time is Matt Hughes versus Frank Trigg 2, the second fight.
Nice.
Where Frank kneed him in the groin like almost immediately, and then wailed on him for a while, and somehow Matt came back and still choked him out before the bell. And you're like,
Matt Hughes has that same strongman quality, farm strong.
Yeah, I'm like, if that happened to me, I would be on the mat. I would not be wailing on the other dude. So yeah, that has to be one of the best fights I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Anyways, I should probably get off here and
good talk. Oh, and we can't leave without talking about Nadia Stowers had some world records. Yeah. So big props to Nadia Stowers for sure.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and she's so nice too. And she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I had some technical issues getting the stream going when she came on, and she was just so understanding and don't worry about it, and still gave a great interview. So definitely very grateful to Nadia.
Yeah. Well, and everyone that I've talked to who knows her and everything, they all have nothing but good stuff to say about her. Yeah.
The more we talk, I'm thinking I'm missing people. Jessica Mitchell had like 2 championship belts this year.
All right, everyone gets a gold star.
Everyone
like, everybody had a phenomenal year.
Aaron Murray won OSG.
All righty. Well, I know.
Well, our best to all of you. You all did some spectacular things this year, and
it was a good year for Strongman.
Gave us incredible things to watch for sure. Looking forward to 2022.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good year.
When I will be really old.
I'm catching up. Don't worry.
Here's an exponential notation.
Hopefully not exponentially. It is happening, but hopefully at a slow pace.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks everybody for checking us out. Like the stream if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to me. Head on over to Hunger Smash Fitness. Subscribe to him. And hopefully YouTube's got this super thanks coming both our ways to both our channels soon. You know, if you appreciate all the hard work we've done all year, and you should, because we've worked really hard. So go ahead and shoot us a couple bucks if you would. We would really appreciate it. This is the season of giving. It's the time to do it. So, of course, until next time, as always, ciao, homie.
See you guys.